Hello everybody, this is Steve from Old Boy Moto. We've got the Oxford heated grips hooked up there. You know, it's a fairly common item on bikes, very handy to keep your hands warm. We've got a double USB in port on there, very handy to charge your mobile phone. Screens for Bikes is the brand, and this is a really good screen. Like, I've ridden the bike and it does keep a bit of wind off you, and there is no head buffeting, which is really good. So your head's in the wind but you're not getting any buffeting, so that's a really good thing. That's one of the better screens. I don't know who makes these, but that's a pretty good thing. I'm thinking that's metal. It's going to save your LED headlight getting a smack. Yeah, and what else have we got? I've got to look at my thingo. So yeah, a complete set of Warp 9 levers, which is these buggers here. So Warp 9 levers. What else? The risers, the whole lot. So yeah, a brake pedal as well, which is a Warp 9 thingy. And these are really nice risers. They put you in a really nice position. What else have we got? Renthal bars. Yep. So the Renthal bars, you know, renowned bars for riding off-road, and very comfortable position with those bars on there. We've got a cooler guard too. I missed that. So your oil cooler there, that's got a B&B guard on it. Very important. Don't want a rock going into that. So we've got an Acibus front fender. So the original fender's been taken out and an Acibus front fender put on it. I don't know whether they're better or worse. They don't look any different to me, to be honest. We've got a quad lock for your phone, and there's also rim locks on the front rims. Now that's them there, and the wheels have been balanced to suit, and what they'll do is if you hit the brakes going downhill or something and you got low tyre pressure or whatever, you're not going to spin your tyre on the rim and chew all your tube out, sort of thing. So they're a good addition, front and rear. There's a chain guard there. I think that's a Warp 9 as well. Yeah, that's a good guide there. That's a nice solid item to keep your chain going around that back sprocket nice and straight. Good golly, that's about it. Look, there's a list on here, you know, a mile long, and like I say, if I never had it on my phone, I would never remember everything. And also, hang on, we've got a set of Ego bark busters and the aluminium handguards and everything, so there's those as well as the final item, I think. I don't think there's anything more, but as you can see, the bike's very well set up. I'd be confident in riding this anywhere, actually. It runs really well. With that Mikuni carb and that upgrade on the pipe and muffler, it really breathes well, and it's instant. You know, I don't know what the fuel economy's like, but with a tank like that, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. What am I going to do with it? I'm not sure. I'm coming off that one, which is my treasured V-Strom, and that's going to be like wrenching a fingernail out to get rid of that, because it's just been such a cracker of a bike. Love my V-Strom, but the V-Strom will not go where this one goes, and I'm starting to get a little bit adventurous, and I'm thinking I'd like to do a little bit more off-roading, you know, nothing extreme, but I'm going to be able to go places on that where I can't take my V-Strom, obviously for ground clearance purposes and suspension. V-Strom just hasn't got the suspension. It's a lot heavier. The V-Strom's 215 or 16, where that's 150 something. So, you know, I'm losing about 60 Ks. Feels a lot lighter, but I don't know, once that tank's full, we're looking at about 30 kilos of weight on over the front there. Anyway, we'll give it a go, and if the bike doesn't suit me, it'll be up for sale, and I'll guarantee you won't get a better one. Okay guys, so I've got the bike up on the stand, and I've taken the side stand off. One thing that happens when you start looking at going over bikes and messing around with bikes, you will find stuff, and I certainly have found out. What I found was the bike's a little bit tall for me. It's not a really big issue, but what I found is the centre stand, the side stand was too long, even for the length of the suspension, and the bike was just not sitting over enough. In actual fact, if I sit on it with the stand down, it'll actually push me over to the right. If you can follow me, the suspension goes down, obviously the side stand's solid, so it pushes you over. And I'm thinking, once I load the bike up with myself on it, this is going to be way too big. I'm not going to get enough lean, and you know, I've seen bikes go over with a strong enough wind. So I've decided the centre stand's come off, and I've just put a cut here. There's a weld there, and there's a weld down there, and I'm going to drop it 2 inches, which should give me plenty of lean over. I've probably given it a little bit extra at 2 inches because I'm taking into account some luggage and stuff like that, which is going to bring it to, you know, it could be up to 130 kilos with me on it. I've got to remember that the DR over there's got a 30 litre tank, and that's equivalent to 30 litres in fluid. So anyway, I'll tackle this and cut it up, and then we'll weld it up and put it back on and see what it looks like. There we go. Just cut 50mm out of it and re-welded it in the same position basically, and that really does now have a safe lean to it. So it's leaning over nicely, and with a bit of weight and everything on it, it probably won't lean as much, but much better, and we're not worried about it going over the other side. Right guys, just messing around with this bike and checking it over, and I just thought I'd show you this. This is what can happen with you if you're not sort of changing your brake fluid very often. Now what I use is, these are medical buds. They're pretty big bloody things, but what they do is they get all the crap out of your reservoir. That's what's in the bottom of that one. Now when I looked at it, when I checked the fluid, the oil in there actually looked really good, but all the crap's down the bottom. And also when I drained it out of the caliper, that's where all the black crap came out. So you'll find that it'll all float down into your calipers eventually, and that's what flogs them out. Yeah, all that nice brown stuff. So I'll give that a bit of a clean up, and that's no big deal. It hasn't corroded anything, so it's all still pretty good. But I'll see if I can get all that rubbish out of there, and then we'll fill it up with some brand new stuff. Should be all good, and I'll check the back one while I'm going. Just another little tip here guys, I'm just filling the reservoir up now and bleeding the front brake. So if you're doing this, if you can set a little jar up that's sitting above your caliper, because what will happen is when you start pumping, if you have this below the calipers, it'll suck the air back in. So what you'll get is you'll get bubbles when you pump your lever, but what will happen is they'll end up getting drawn back. There it is. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they're just going up the tube now, but if I let the lever go, they'll want to go back in. So if I've got that jar under the two pistons, it'll draw those air bubbles back in, and you'll just drive yourself mad. You'll never be able to bleed it. So just make sure that your jar or your container that you're bleeding it with is above those pistons on your caliper. Yeah, so with this front brake, I'm just bleeding it. Now, I've bled the calipers, they're fine. So from here down to the calipers, there's no air. But what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get the pressure back on the thing. Now you might see these bubbles coming up in that fluid. I don't know whether you can or not. As I'm pumping the lever, there's air coming in, and it's coming up into the reservoir, and that's a dead giveaway. If you're seeing that, it's a dead giveaway that the piston in your master cylinder probably is sucking air, so the rubbers and all that are shot in it. And I cannot get a hard lever there, and you see those little bubbles coming up. So I've ordered a rebuild kit for the front master cylinder, and that's what's happening next. Anyway, send in your comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Catch you next time.